G'day guys, and welcome back to your English Aussie. I'm out in Cyprus today, so apologies for the slightly late stream. It was a bit of difficulty for me choosing between streaming and being in the pool for the next 2 hours. We're on our day off from the tour. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay in the chat. So yeah, lots of rehab and recovery day really today. And a bit of time to watch the footy this afternoon, which should be nice. Cool. Hey guys in the chat: Abdullah, Boss Arhill, John, Alex, Van der Ven to Gabriel or Steph to California. Van der Ven to Gabriel, 100%. I think Gabriel was one of the biggest must-haves in. I think at the moment, if there's a list of must-have players, they would probably be Gabriel, Erling Haaland, Semenyo, and probably, in my opinion, Daniel Munoz. I think those would be probably the four that must-haves in your team at this stage, especially for the upcoming fixture swings at the moment. Hope everybody's okay. I've obviously got not too much time this week to run through everything and do all your teams, so I'll try and move a bit quicker than I normally do through the reviews. So if you do need a little bit more time on yours, I do apologise, but I'll try and give quick and concise advice. Paul, your team is sorted. That's great to hear, mate. I know we've chatted in the week in the members chat as well, so hopefully I was of some help. I'm just having a flick through now to see the team IDs that have been posted. Cap, you are here. You were posting in the chat at yesterday for me, I think it was. So let's pull you up straight away, mate, and have a look at your team. I know you sent me a couple of messages in the week where on the YouTube channel, so hopefully I was of some help as well there. So looking at your team, I think you're almost in a good spot, and I don't know how you keep managing to make changes every week, even though we came to an agreement last week that we wouldn't make any transfers and you'd roll the transfers. Yet you still managed to take the -8. Crazy. So you can see, yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm just, I'm relaxing today, mate. I'm going to be straight in the pool after this, and then I'll go down to the bar and watch the Palace game. And then we got 4 T20s in 2 days for Cyprus over the next 2 days against Bulgaria. So I need to quickly get online and see who's winning between Serbia and Bulgaria today. Needed my Kinder and Bumo, was hungry. Yeah, Cap C does basically whatever advice I give him, he chooses to go for the opposite. So maybe this week and you can see here, Cap, this is sort of just like even though you made some good transfers, but because you took that -8, you cost yourself 12 points for that game week. And like, this is how, for all of you on the stream as well, this is sort of like why hits are to be used with caution, because it really does take you down the ranks a little bit using too many hits. But the good thing that we do have to say, Cap, is that your team is looking quite nice now. There are a couple of things that I would look to change in the future. But for the time being, I think your team's looking all right. Obviously, that VDV 23 last on the bench hurts as well, but we'll skip over that. So you obviously still have all your chips in play, which is great. You're going to bench Isidore to Tavernier and VDV and start Rangers Diouf, so win-win. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, then that's probably a plus for you in that team. Well, I mean, you still took I guess you still had the -8, but you've just 6 mil. All right, well, maybe time to listen to some of my advice after this. Now you're 7.6 mil, and see if I tell you what, if you listen to my advice this week and you don't get a green arrow, then you can come back and give me some chat next week. But if you listen to my advice, don't take any hits this week and get a red arrow, then you have full validity to give me some chat next week, and maybe I'll sort something out for you if you do that. But yeah, anyway, Let's see. So I think at the back for you this week, what are the key guys that we've got up? I would say Timber must have for Arsenal versus Burnley. Senesi's probably a tricky one for me versus Man City. I think that's a tough game where he possibly doesn't get DEFCON as well, just the way Man City keep the ball. I think that's sort of a bit of a 50-50. I would probably go Van de Ven versus Chelsea. I'd play Van de Ven. And then the third defender option, again, probably a bit of a tricky one for me. I don't love any of the clean sheet options, so I'd potentially go Diouf for the attacking potential. In your midfield, Saka, Semenyo, Caicedo, and Bumo and Reinders, all nice. I'd probably bench Reinders again, and then Mateta, Haaland, Waltemard is such a good front line this week. Like, I think your midfield and front line are really nice, but also just something to consider this year is that obviously the defence has been really strong. So look to try and upgrade that defence if you can. And potentially you'd have to downgrade elsewhere. So maybe this week, just roll the transfer. Have a look across your team, who you think you're uncomfortable with after this week, and then look to potentially downgrade one of those options that you're not happy with and try and upgrade maybe a Diouf or even a Van de Ven to get in a Gabriel or a Munoz. I think those are the two that I'd be looking to get in your team. Hi Sandri, Owamara, how are you? Kickoff's always here to ask about the giveaways. Dusty, yeah, I'll pull you up, mate, and Isaac, I'll get you guys in straight away. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And 5 free transfers made. That is classic from you, Luca. Yeah, so I think roll the transfer this week. Your bench is probably Senesi, Reinders, and Estev. Estev last on the bench, and then Senesi, Reinders. I think you could go either way with those guys. But yeah, I think that's probably the way I'd go. Cap. Edwin, are you the next non-member? Yeah, you are. It's you and then Rico. I just need to make a note of your IDs again. 7, 5, 6, 4, 7, 9, 3. Enrique 142173. It's good from you guys getting in early. Very good, smart option. Given that we're a short one this week. 3 is a 2, 7, 2, 1. John as well. Alright, so next up, we got to pull up the members that are in here. Dusty, let's get you up, mate. 689428. Oh yeah, Jerry, we were talking about this earlier. You just missed out on JP to Mateta. I think that's okay. I don't think I'd double up on Palace up top. So I think this is going to be an unpopular opinion for many people. And look, and I would say this is completely against what the data and what the fixtures are saying. But I think Sarr, I would definitely go for Mateta over. I know in your team you've gone for Sarr already, so it's a case of hold. But I would definitely go for Mateta over Sarr. I just feel like, if I look at Palace's fixtures over the next few weeks, and like they're very good, like Brentford, Brighton, Wolves, Man United, Burnley, Fulham, before Sarr goes off to AFCON in 16. And of all of those teams, are they going to be teams where Palace are able to be like really effective in transition? Like, I'm not so sure. I feel like Sarr performs better in those games actually sometimes against bigger teams where, you know, Palace are on the counter and looking to get in behind these teams. Whereas I feel like Mateta is someone who's more consistent across multiple game weeks. Anyway, that's just a general point for everybody on here. So looking at your team, Jerry, I know you got 2 frees this week. Gabriel, Timber, probably Rodon are the 3 that I'd be starting this week. I mean, rode on. Hey, Rob. Member for 2 months, my guy. Always picking up the chat. Did my telescope today. DCL scoring. I'm not convinced by that. Sorry, mate. Can't see DCL finding any form. Thanks, Cap. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for joining early and being part of it. Get some sleep. Yeah, so I think look probably where I'd be looking at for you, and I've got two thoughts, Jerry, because I actually like Truther and think he's nice, and think Bournemouth have really nice fixtures from game week 12, but I really fancy Munoz in that Palace defence. I think he's just someone that could explode for 20 points at some point, and I'd want to be on him before he does that. So I'd definitely be considering trying to get Truther up to Munoz. And I know you're looking to get rid of João Pedro, so I wonder whether you could make some form of transfer potentially. You do need to use your bench boost as well. That is one issue. Potentially even to just go like JP down to Igor Thiago, who's in great form at the moment, and like Truther up to a Munoz. By the way, Rob, as our resident Leeds fan, what do you think about Anton Stack getting back in that starting 11? Do you think like he's someone that's definitely going to come back in, or given that Leeds played so well last week without him, he's gonna stay out of the side? I know he had that rib issue and problems as well. He's coming back in, yeah, okay. So then, because I think Jerry, like you've obviously got to consider probably bench boosting in the next few weeks. You're either looking probably to bench boost next week, or it's going to most likely be around / after the AFCON 5 free transfers, because I do think it is a little bit difficult in between sort of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I think you want to sort of maximise your team around there. Do you have any ideas of when you're looking to bench boost on it, Jerry? Just because, like, I'm sort of thinking if you are looking to bench boost soon, like, I'd definitely consider going even like João Pedro down to Krupi Jr. just before Evan Ilson gets back, and then Truther to Munoz and just playing the bench boost. But I think this week's obviously a bit tricky given Bournemouth have Man City. But if Krupi can hold on to that starting place until really 12-13, that's where you'd probably look to be playing the bench boost. Yeah, so look, I'd definitely look to try and get Munoz in. If you don't feel comfortable enough to do that this week, you definitely can roll and end up with 3 frees. And then I think like those 3 transfers, if you do roll, need to be used in a week that you want to bench boost. So if it is next week that you want to bench boost, then you use all of those frees to get your team in the best possible situation for bench boost. And then you just keep making transfers every week up until game week 16 when you get the 5 frees, mate. I think that's probably the best way to go. Is that sort of helpful, Jerry, Dusty? If so, I'll move on to Isaac and then Rob. But let me know if you need me to come back to that, Dusty, because happy to chat through it a little bit further if you are not comfortable with that. Because I do think like downgrading that. Just sorry to keep going, Jerry. Yeah, I just think downgrading that third striker option is probably worthwhile in the future. And if you can have someone like a Krupi or a Guiu that does start, I know Delap's coming back, but like it's nice to just have that option. But realistically, like, are you going to play them if you downgrade them like that often? Probably not. And it does give you the potential to maybe upgrade Anton Stack at some point to maybe like a. Yeah, I mean, did you have Caicedo already? Yeah, so maybe like a Caicedo, or even you can go to a Xhaka. No worries, Dusty. Hopefully that helps, mate. Good luck this week. Isaac, I saw what you said up above, Did early transfer from Reinders to Mbumo. Thinking of taking a hit and moving VDV to any Arsenal defenders. Only concern is that if I transfer in Gabriel, I'll be priced out for doing Saka for Kudus next week. Would you consider Saka to Kudus this week? Anderson's back this week, by the way. Price out Saka to Kudus is nice. But you could also go to Eze. Like, I'm definitely not opposed to going. Also, like, probably to consider from next week, Arsenal's fixtures are actually not that nice. Like, attacking wise, like Sunderland difficult, Tottenham difficult, Chelsea maybe okay, Brentford maybe okay, Villa difficult, Wolves okay, Everton difficult in my opinion. So, like, Arsenal over the next game weeks 11 to 15. Sunderland, Tottenham, Chelsea. Brentford's probably the only easy one in there, or easier one, and then Villa at 15. Like, that's not that easy. Like, I wouldn't be too concerned about being priced out of Saka. I would actually, and Isaac, just let me know. Oh, yeah, you are here. I wouldn't be too concerned about being priced out of Saka. I'd be much happier to have Gabriel than Saka. And I think, I'm not sure I'd take the -4 this week. You got Newcastle v West Ham. You got Burn in there. Fulham v Wolves. You got Anderson's back and available this week. And then who else you got? Rodon maybe to play this week. We'll probably go in Rodon over Senesi. Hey, Brycey, what's up, mate? How are you? Abdullah, how are you? I'll reply to some of these comments in a second after I've gone through the members' teams. So if you did leave a comment in the chat, I probably will get back to you. Just give me some time. Luke, I like your transfers personally, other than maybe Sarr. If I could have avoided the Sarr and managed to go Romero to Gabriel, then that'd have been great. But you might have Gabriel already. I can't remember. Sesko. I actually think Sesko looks really good, but the rotation and expected minutes not great for me, Owamara, so I probably wouldn't get him in. Sheriff El Hakim, select one between João Pedro, Romero, or King to start this week. It would be João Pedro for sure. Just thinking if at least double Arsenal defence is essential. I'm interested in Munoz as well. Look, I think Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet against Burnley, mate. And it's tough not having an Arsenal defender this week, I would say. But I wouldn't -4. Would I -4 for it? I mean, -4 for Gabriel is like even pickings, in my opinion, if your other defender doesn't get a clean sheet. Or even midfield. Yeah, I mean, who are you going to play this week? Let's have a look at that first. Burn, Rodon, Anderson, I think. Definitely. And then Van der Ven, Senesi, let's have a consideration. King's bench for sure. So then you'd beat Mbumo, Kudus, Semenyo, Caicedo. Well, Kudus is also sort of a consideration. And then Haaland, João Pedro, Mateta, which I think you're going to have to play all of them. Or you play Van der Ven and bench João Pedro. Yeah, so I mean, you could bring Gabriel in for. I don't know. I don't mind just playing Van der Ven. I don't mind playing Van der Ven and benching Kudus. Just going Rodon, Burn, Van der Ven, Anderson, Reinders, Mbumo, Semenyo, Caicedo, Haaland, João Pedro, Mateta. And then your bench should just be King, Senesi, Kudus, King. It's probably the bench. How's the ultimate Frisbee supporter doing? Yeah. I mean, it's just getting worse, isn't it, mate? It's 4 in a row now. We've struggled to win in that ultimate frisbee game that I support for my ultimate frisbee team. But outside of that, mate, I'm doing all right. My body's hurting a little bit after 2 T20s yesterday. But we got 2 wins up against Serbia. I think we're up now into the top 60 in the world. And I think if we win over the next 2 days against Bulgaria, captaincy option. Sorry, Isaac. Captaincy option. I'll go Haaland, mate. I think City v Bournemouth's going to be quite high scoring. I think if we win over the next 2 days against Bulgaria, we might even get into the top 50-ish, or maybe not quite that high, but close to there. But I think it'll be some tricky games. I haven't seen the scores yet, but it looked like Bulgaria thrashed Serbia. They played them today, and then they'll be playing us tomorrow. Can we talk about Kirkes being dropped, please? Because Robinson needs to come into that back four for stability. I mean, I know you've been here, Rob, but I've been saying that in the live streams, that he's been our weak link. Like, Kirkes has been really poor. And I know Robertson doesn't quite have the legs anymore, but positionally, he's much better, understands where to be. Okay, team sorted them. Good luck to everyone. All right, nice one, Isaac. Good luck this week, mate. Hopefully a green arrow. Positionally, he's much better. I just think, again, I have said before, though, Rob, I do think it does take time for a back four to gel together and understand positionally where they need to be, how to step up as a team. And I think that comes from Virgil van Dijk, and I think he needs to be a better leader in that back four, letting people know where he needs to be and what he needs to do. P.S. Thank you for the super chat, Rob. Much appreciated. I just went on to talk about Ultimate Frisbee. But like on your question, like, I just think for me that's on VVD. That's on VVD. Was your last win, was it with Szoboszlai at right back? You're really making me hurt here, mate. You're really making me hurt. It's horrible that I can't even remember what our last win was now. It was so many weeks ago. Is this how Leeds United fans feel? No, because yours was like last week. Other than the Eintracht Frankfurt game, who did we play before Palace? Everton, 2-1. I don't know if Sob was right back. I don't know. I don't mind Conor Bradley. I think Conor Bradley's fine. I think he's all right at right back. I don't have a problem with him. Because he has the passing ability like Trent. Yeah, I mean, Trent is a miss offensively, but Trent was as much of a liability as Kirkes is defensively as well. So there's misses as gains, but obviously Kirkes has just not been the same guy going forwards that he was for Brentford for us so far this year. By the way, is the sound all right on my mic? Like, I don't need to turn it up or anything. Are you guys comfortable with how it is? All right, sorry. And let me also move on to whoever was next. I think it was you, Rob, wasn't it, that wanted your team, and then non-members. If you are all watching the stream, please remember to give us a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm on my day off today on tour and still streaming for you guys, so yeah, I would really appreciate it if you can give us a like, subscribe down below, because I've got to be honest, I would much rather be in the swimming pool right now. It's a sunny day outside. I don't know if I can point the camera over there. Can you see the weather? No, maybe not. It looks horrible, doesn't it? Well, I can tell you for sure that it is actually sunny. It's not crappy weather. Yeah, you said I should have gone in the pool. Yeah, I should have done, but just committed to you guys. Committed out here. Sound is fine. All right, nice one, guys. Thoughts on Man United? They're going to be playing a lot of long ball football. Not long ball, but like direct football. Teams going to get DEFCON against them. Still like Bruno Fernandes as a pick. Yeah, and Bumo's nice. Fixtures are good from around maybe 12, 13. I mean, this week as well, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I could go. There's a case for United players. Obviously you've got to accept the inconsistency. Hey Kentaro, what's up, mate? Didn't get your advice, Virgil to Gabriel for -4. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, Sheriff Al Hakim. Just wouldn't do that. It is one that I've considered multiple times, but not for Virgil van Dijk. I think Liverpool's fixtures get really nice from post next week against City, and I'd want to have VVD. Liverpool are a good side, right? I know I'm a Liverpool fan, so you guys can think I'm biased, but I'm not. I'm very critical. If you've watched my streams, I'm very critical of Liverpool all the time. But when they go on that fixture run from 12 to 19, really, they're going to keep some clean sheets over that run, and I think VVD is going to keep picking up DEFCON, and I think he'll score points, and it'll be a good pick. So I would want to get Gabriel into my team, absolutely for sure, but not for a -4. Game week 10 special for a bet. Absolutely depends what the bet is, mate. So if you can come up with something for me, I've got no chips for you to steal. But if there's something that you're interested in, you let me know. Rob, on your team, mate, what are we saying this week? Yeah, the bet. We could go bet. I'm actually. I could be willing to place a bet this week because it might be quite fun. Actually, I just want to know what your bet is, Rico, and then whoever that is, I'm going to bring that player into my side because he's 100% going to score every time you get it right. You're the. I should bring you on stream for a collab. Your team's a shambles. Yeah, I mean, you got Gyökeres, which it's not great. Yeah, I mean, what would I say to this team? Sanchez in goal. Tottenham. Luca Perry. I guess I'd get old Perry back in goal. You play your Leeds boy this week. Yeah, mate, it's been Gyökeres. He's not going to score. Correa. He likes to drink Estrella. I'd like to drink some Estrella. I make the bet this time. Hang on, let me just do Rob's team and then let me think about this, Rico, because I'm actually interested now and I'm going to have a think of what I think is going to happen this week. I'll give you some options. Correa likes to drink Estrella. I'll probably keep him, mate. He could be an interesting one. I mean, longer term, maybe you can get rid of him, but just at this time, unless you're going to bring in Gabriel, then yes, I'd get rid of him. In fact, you probably can with this team. Yeah, maybe that is an option. Gabriel in for Kukurea. And then you can have Gabriel, Timber, Munoz. Goodmanson's out? No, he's available this week, isn't he? Yeah, he's available this week. And then Semenyo, Saka. Yeah, midfield's the issue. Midfield and Gyökeres is really the issue. You got 2 free transfers. I don't mind a Mateo. I don't mind a Gyökeres to Mateo. I think maybe that can be next week transfer. You give him Burnley. I'd say worst defences in the league, probably West Ham and Wolves. Wolves, who are improving at the moment, but West Ham by far the worst. I think Burnley are not good, but they're like one of the weaker ones, but definitely not the worst. As a Man United fan, I can't remember the last time I was confident before a game. Mate, that's actually funny because I follow the United strand as well. You know the guy who refused to cut his hair until Man United win 5 games in a row? So I'm absolutely buzzing for them to get to 4 in a row and then to lose or to draw. He's been like... you should follow him on Twitter if you haven't. He's quite funny as well. It's been like 380 days and his hair is like the biggest fro you've ever seen. West Ham not winning at home in 250 days. I have not heard that stat. That is incredible. That is incredible. So you're going to bet... wait, are West Ham at home this week? You're going to bet me West Ham are going to beat Newcastle? Kudus and Reinders is who I was going to shift, or I could go Gok and then defend to Gabriel. Yeah, I think it should be Kudus for me. Tottenham fixtures are just not great. Reinders at least like he's obviously someone that's got to be on the way out for your team, but just like City do go on a good run from game week 13, so it's sort of holding him in case he ends up still in your team at that point is kind of how I feel about that. I mean, maybe this week you can play him as well. This team at 5-3-2. Yeah, Kukurea, Timber, Munoz, Goodmanson. Can you even go like Truefair up? No, actually, maybe you'd want to keep Truefair. But you could go Truefair up to Gabriel. Because it's a tough week this week, and it's a tough week next week as well for Bournemouth v Villa. And then from 12, they get a bit better. And then like Kukurea, you probably want to play next week 11 and 12 against Wolves and Burnley. So I think I'd probably go Truefair to Gabriel, and that's going to take quite a lot out of your budget though. 2 mil and then 0.6 for Kudus. You could go to you could go to a few people. I'd possibly even downgrade to a Caicedo. Quite like Caicedo that price range. One to bench VDV, Anderson, Reinders. Reinders for me, Rupesh Raj. Would you play Senesi over Reinders though? I'd probably play Reinders over Senesi this week. Hey Unk, what's going on? Yeah, so Rob, I think Kudus out to... What's my list of best midfielders? And how's Everton's fixtures? Sunderland, Fulham, Man United. Don't mind like cheeky Ndiaye pick. Ndiaye, you probably can't get to Gakpo at this stage. Yeah, I'd probably go Ndiaye or Caicedo. I think those are probably the two picks. I think for you, like just having a bit of extra price in your team, I guess you're going to go Gyökeres out, so you'll get that. Yeah, I don't mind Ndiaye or Caicedo for me. Or Enzo, but I just feel like he's a bit... Yeah, I think I'd go Caicedo over Enzo. I wouldn't keep Kudus, but Rico saying that makes me want to make a bet. Kudus not to score, but he probably won't make that. Yeah, and Ndiaye for Kudus is nice. Let's bet Cunha to score. I don't want to do that. Who United playing? Nottingham Forest, mate. Forest is so shit, bro. I mean, I like it. I kind of like it just because I always make the bets where I kind of think you have a pretty good chance of winning it. When's the next international break? I think after game week 11. Between 11 and 12. Forest are winning, Adam. Yeah, you want to make that? Yeah, Rico, you want to make that bet? Forest beat Man United to win. No, I can't make that bet as a Liverpool fan. Luca de Gabriel, Sarah Reinders for Minte. I only have 0.6 million and 2 free transfers after I did the Mateta to JP move earlier in the week. I'm assuming you went JP to Mateta, not Mateta to JP, Luca. Yeah, I like Minte. Minte's one of my my side picks. So what I like, the players I like, I'd say Caicedo, Semenyo, Ndiaye, Bruno, Saka, Gakpo, Enzo, and then the sort of side picks that I'm interested in but not 100% keen on are Minte, Eze, Sarr, and maybe even a Phil Foden as a bit of a out of the range pick. Early joiner gang, here's the man himself, Nishan. What's going on, mate? This is unrivaled, mate. How early are you? I don't even know what. I've got too many time zones at the moment. I think it's still an hour 20 to the deadline, isn't it? I couldn't have been streaming for too long. But mate, you're at least an hour 15 minutes too early. At least an hour. I kind of want to look at your team, to be honest, mate. I'd like you to put your team ID in the chat because I never get a chance to see your team. Yeah, Foden is a bit of a rogue pick, but I kind of like it. Well, I'm just a bit worried now that Shirky and Marmoush are coming back. All right, Rob. Hopefully that works for you anyway in your team. Guys, I've been massively slacking writing down the team IDs, so I'm just gonna. Just given we're so short on time this week, I've got to speed up and get through some people now. I'm pretty sure FPL Hippie was here, wasn't he? I saw you somewhere. I think I remember your ID's like 151 or something, but I'm just scrolling through my chat here. Abdullah, normally you're here, mate, and you normally post your team ID in here, and I flipping always miss your team ID, so if you are and you're looking for a review, stick it in. Oh yeah, FPL Hippie's here. 151. I was right. There are some people that continue to join where I've just started to learn your team IDs. I know that one was an easy one, so you can't give me too much credit for that. But Bapupos 5355. Rico Abdullah 148271. Okay, yeah, Edwin now. Edwin, are you around? Salah out and Bimo in. Graham, nice one, mate. Edwin, you around? Otherwise, I'll do Rico and then I'll just come back to you when you're here. But yeah, you're here. Perfect. All right, so on my list at the moment, I've got Edwin, Rico, John, Radu, FPL Hippie from Blue Sky, if anybody wants to go follow him, and Bapupos, and then Abdullah whenever he feels like running in, and now Nish. But secretly I might sneak Nish in early, which I know goes against everything I stand for, but I just so nice to see Nish here at such an early time in the week. So I kind of just, not in the week, just in the stream, so I'm just interested to see his team. Rob, mate, that's for Nish. That's for Nish to skip the queue. Unbelievable. This is the sort of great channel that we have here. What a good community. Like this guy, Rob Light, what an absolute hero. Dubs in the chat for Rob. What a guy. What a guy. Edwin, I'll finish doing you since you're up, mate, and then I'll do Nish, and then we'll go to Rico after that, and we'll make a bet when I pull Rico's team up. All right, so Ed, 3 free transfers. I just played football for an hour. My son's 16 and 20. I'm 52 and my legs hurt. Mate, I don't even know how old I am now. 32, yeah. I'm 32 and my whole body's in pain after a day of cricket. Yeah, dubs for Rob in the chat. Absolute hero. And for Nish for turning up an hour early. Thinking Virgil to Munoz, Calafiori, Rodon, Lacroix. So I would say your team's not too different to mine. I actually did Lacroix to Munoz this week. I know it's a bit sideways, but I was feeling that as a nice option. The fact that you got 3 free transfers, I think there's some moves you can make here. And you've used your bench boost. Again, I think João Pedro's got to go from this team. I think you downgrade him to Creep. Everyone's been shouting at me in our members chat to stop going Giu and go Creepy. Well, mostly Rob. So I don't mind Giu or a Creepy. Like, my personal opinion is I'm not going to play that third striker very often. And once Evan Nilsson comes back as well, Creepy's not going to become that great. Potentially. Although he's in fine scoring form. Oh, sorry, JP to Mateta done already. Okay, so you got 2 frees. Okay. And did JP to Mateta gain or lose you money? What was Mateta? JP 7.4. Can't be Giu, sorry. What is Mateta again? He must be like 7.7 now. 7.8. Two best Liverpool assets from game week 12 deal. Definitely Gakpo and probably Van Dijk. I think those would be the two I'd go for. I mean, I'd love to say Ekitike. I'd really love to say Ekitike because I really think he's been one of our best offensive players. But until Slot sorts out how we're going to play and line up each week, I know he's trying to find a way to play Isak and Ekitike together. If he does, it would be Ekitike for me. MCAC's 2 bad game weeks. Damn it, mate. Yeah, we'll help you out for sure. Yeah, okay, so you're basically 0 in the bank then, Ed, I'm assuming. Zero in the bank, so... Yeah, I mean, I'd be potentially downgrading Kudus to upgrade Diouf. I would look at Kudus to Caicedo, which probably saves you around 6.7 mil. Caicedo is about 5.8 or something, I think. Let's have a look. Caicedo 5.9. So you save 0.8. That 0.8. Can you get to No, you won't be able to get to Munoz. That's a shame. That's a shame. Other option is you go Kudus down to Granit Xhaka, and you go Diouf to Munoz. Then your back line is just so strong. But it's nice because you'd want to be playing 4 at the back most weeks with that back line, especially over the next 5 weeks that Palace have. 6 weeks that Palace have nice fixtures. Oh, did you dirty? I think he just benched Truefair last week. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. Yeah, if I could have that back, I'd probably take that call back. I'm surprised I did tell you to bench Truefair last week. You must have had a really strong team, though. Sometimes it's hard to make the pick. My sound is a bit quiet again. Sorry. I might have just flicked it. Yeah, okay, so... I think I like this is personally what I'd do is I'd probably go Kudus down to Xhaka, Diouf up to Munoz. Give yourself a little bit of space potentially to go Calafiori to Gabriel at some point. I know it feels sideways, but it's worth it. Like I did Lacroix to Munoz. Equally, I could have done Calafiori to Gabriel this week. I thought both were good. Okay, cheers. I'll have a bench and think. So if you do go Diouf to Munoz and Kudus to Xhaka, it would be Virgil, Calafiori, Munoz, Lacroix that I'd play, and then Mateta, Watermada, Haaland, obviously, and then Saka, Gordon, probably Enzo. But I would consider... Yeah, probably Enzo. I think Brighton score against Leeds. I think Brighton probably score against Leeds. Given there's been no Leeds score propaganda this week. But I know I told you to start Lucas Perry in goal, Rob. That is one Leeds player I've already picked in the side. But I think quite a lot of teams you could start Rodon this week. Like you could start Rodon over Enzo. Like you could do that. But hard to bench a penalty taker. Hard to bench a penalty taker. All right, hopefully that helps, Ed. Let's keep cracking on. All right, Nish, what the hell was your team ID, mate? You're in too early, mate. I don't read your team ID when you put it in at this time. 81749009. And then Rico, you're up next. Darren, 52 is a tough age. Everything hurts from just sleeping. Darren, PS, thanks for always joining the live streams, mate. It's always good to have you in here, mate. And I'm pretty sure you're doing great this year, aren't you? Nish, you're doing pretty well this year, mate. You are doing pretty well. Who's Fulham player to better so far? ATL's AM. I'm assuming you're saying who's the best Fulham player? I mean, it's just Anderson. He's the only pick from Fulham. Brycey, yeah, bruh. I was playing against a Safa yesterday. I mean, he was playing for Serbia, but he was clearly a Safa yesterday. He reminded me of you. All right. And Paul's like just beautifully calming Safa voice. He could put me to sleep. Nish, we're looking good here, mate. He's strong. I mean, Paqueta is mental from you, but apart from that, strong team. Virgil, Senesi, Gabriel, Munoz, Goodmanson. Like, you could probably play at least Verge, Gabriel, Munoz this week. Semenyo and Bumo. Grealish, I like. Everton v Sunderland, I'd play him. Yes, it's 3. You need to get rid of Paqueta. Yeah, post your ranks in the chat. Be good to see where everyone is. Dewsbury Hall. When do Everton have a week at Dewsbury Hall? Like, I'm just thinking for your bench boost, like Salah out and Bumo in, Graham. That's the one, mate. I like that. Or Bruno. I'm just thinking for your bench boost, Nish, is like when you're going to play it. Normally, Game Week 11 looks quite nice for a lot of teams. But you've already used your wildcard anyway, so you kind of just want to get out of that bench. I think the thing is, maybe you can go to. I think like once you get out of Gyökeres, you could easily go like, you could easily just then drop that to like 4.5 million striker and then just have money for everybody. Yeah, and Dye I like. Sarr I'm not so keen on, but I think if you've got Grealish, there's no point having in Dye as well. I think if you move Paqueta, you don't really have that many options at that price point at 5.9. You can go to maybe a Caicedo at 5.9, just like for like swap. Actually, I think that's quite a nice move for you. And then in future weeks, probably like Gyökeres down to like a Kroopy. But can you use your bench boost? Like I'd consider it. Like, even this week, I'd consider it. I mean, I don't think it's hugely strong. You'd have Goodmanson, Dewsbury Hall, and Senesi probably on the bench if you went Paqueta to Caicedo. Grealish out for Sarr and Dye. Yeah, I mean, Grealish could go to Ndai for sure. Like, Grealish definitely to Ndai is an option. Just feels a little bit sideways, doesn't it? That's the only thing about it. Definitely an option. Yeah, Van der Ven killed a lot of managers this week. Do you know what? I'll just briefly speak about this because I've just seen it on Twitter. I don't really watch any YouTube of content creators anymore because I just think they've all lost the plot. This season, there are going to be way more engaged managers than in previous seasons because of all the changes that FPL have done. So I don't know what everyone's chatting about. Like, oh yeah, most engaged managers don't have Van der Ven. I know loads of engaged managers that have Van der Ven and are going to keep playing for the rest of the season. I have no issues with you if you had Van der Ven and you played him in your team. Like, you might not have had the defence that I particularly liked, but there's definitely a reason for having him in your team. Like, at the beginning of the season, Tottenham were looking really good. Like, Van der Ven, like, good off set pieces. Like, set pieces are, at the moment, the majority of the, like, I think there's a stat on BBC Sport. Set pieces like 30% of the goals at the moment this year in the Premier League. Like, I am generally looking at players that are on set pieces or recipients of set pieces as players that I want to be having in my team, especially defenders. If you can get a defender that has the ability to get DEFCON and score goals from set pieces, they're huge in FPL this season. So for anybody that does have Van der Ven and feels bad by what some of the people say, definitely don't. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Well, I mean, you probably don't feel bad. You got 23 points for him, so you're probably giving them the two fingers. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like you might be in the wrong, you're absolutely not. They've all lost their head. I personally think that, nothing wrong with Van der Ven as a pick. And I mean, myself, I also told people to bench him as well, because last week I just didn't think it was a great fixture. But I mean, you can't always pick, someone to go and score 2 goals off a set piece. So well done if you picked him, is my view. Can I give you a wildcard piece, Mohamed Gouda? It's very unlikely that I have time, but I mean, roughly I would say Virgil, Gabriel, Timber, Munoz, Lacroix. Maybe with Virgil not potentially being in there, and maybe a Rodon or Mukiele instead. Raya in goal. Midfield of any of Saka, Enzo, Caicedo, Semenyo, Ndai, Bruno, Gakpo. And up front, probably would be Mateta and Haaland. And like a shit like 4.5 or 4.3 million guy. That would be my wild card. Yeah, Tottenham are unpredictable. Which is why last week I was just like, I wasn't so sure on Van der Ven as well. So, yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes you make bad decisions, FPL, and they come back taunting you. 23-pointer is pretty rough, to be honest. Like, that's probably 500k rank at least. Those 23 points, maybe more, maybe 1 million in rank at this stage of the season. So, yeah, don't worry about it either way, if you had him or not. Sorry, Nish. Yeah, I'd go Paqueta to Caicedo. I don't mind Grealish to Ndai. I just think it's a little bit sideways, but I don't mind it. And then you could easily just play Semenyo, Mbumo, Caicedo, and Ndai, João Pedro, Gyökeres, Haaland. You don't need to. I don't think you need to make the transfer necessarily to Mateta. I mean, I would like. It's a nice one, but not necessary. And then I think next week is probably Gyökeres out to someone shit like even maybe Igor Thiago if you still need to play your bench boost. And then upgrade. Potentially a Dewsbury Hall for your bench boost. Potentially a Dewsbury, because your defence is very strong. Very strong. It's almost optimal defence, in my opinion. Probably is optimal defence, in my opinion. I like Senesi. I'd maybe, you're considering you got Raya in goal. Probably don't want Gabriel and Timber as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty optimal defence. Like every week, that's where I'd be. If Leeds have a good fixture, I mean, next week Leeds have a good fixture. Next week might be a good week for a bench boost, Nish. If you can go next week, Gyökeres out to Thiago and Dewsbury Hall up to somebody, that's decent. I would bench boost next week. So leave yourself 2 free transfers for next week, Nish. So you got 3 at the moment. You can make 2. I think, Grealish and Ndai, Paqueta for Caicedo. And then next week, I think you bench boost. And you go Gyökeres out and Dewsbury Hall upgrade. Because Leeds have a nice fixture against Forest, so Goodmanson's nice. And then, I mean, you do have Van Dijk against Man City, which is tough. But the rest of the fixtures are decent. It's an SEV Villa, like Gabriel and Raya v Sunderland. And then like midfielders, who knows what's happening. Message number 3, Graham. I said that's a good pick. I said before, Salah out and Mbumo in. I also didn't see the question mark before, to be honest, but I did say I thought that was a nice pick, Gray. Sorry, mate, if you didn't hear that. I thought you were just saying you'd done that, to be honest, but. Yeah, I mean, I know you've kept Salah all this time, but I think Salah out and Mbumo in is nice. Or Fernando or Bruno. I don't mind Bruno either. I don't mind Gakpo. Like I said, those 7 midfielders that I like, any of those are decent. Cool, nice one, Nish. Rico. What is your team ID? 142173.
All right, we've got to Rico, and that means that we're on for the bet this week. And sorry, I haven't been really following some of the chat sometimes, because I'm just talking to people. But also, shout out to Rob who super chatted for Nish there. Hopefully that helps. Hey Cody, how you going, mate? Please don't scream Lisa Shields. Lisa Shields is actually Graham. He just nicking his wife's money, so he just signs up on her account. Isn't that right, Graham? The way to do it, isn't it? Very smart. Message are you guys having a go at me here now? Message number 5, Thiago or Welbeck? Probably Welbs. Brighton run of fixtures is real nice. Rads. How's the cricket, Cody? Yeah, we won both games yesterday. Unfortunately, it's not being televised out in Cyprus, so I don't have any links to share with you guys. But we won both games against Serbia yesterday, up into, I think, top 60 in the world now. And, yeah, we're on our rest day today, so I'm pretty keen to finish the stream and get in the pool. And then we got Bulgaria tomorrow and the day after. We've got four T20s in 2 days, which is going to be horrible on the body. And I think they're beating Serbia. They're playing Serbia today, so I think they're winning. I need to check the scores. No, all good, Graham, mate. I'm just giving you chat for no reason. No stress. If I don't respond to you, you're more than welcome to keep messaging me, because sometimes I do miss things in the chat, and obviously today I'm in a bit of a different setup, so it's a bit different. Here's my Cyprus hat as well. Just got my Cyprus shirt on in the training gear. Got to get in the gym later and do some recovery stuff. I play for the Cyprus national cricket team, Ardif. So yeah, I'm out on tour at the moment. We're in Cyprus on tour. We got a tri-series with Bulgaria and Serbia. So yeah, I got 4 T20s in the next 2 days. Oh yeah, for everyone that will enjoy this, I briefly became the world #1 batter in all formats of the game, and then I got 0 in the second game. So I am no longer the best batsman in the world in T20 cricket or in world cricket. So sorry to disappoint all my loyal fans that have been following that. But my Instagram will now say former world #1 batter. So I have been waiting for that, because I thought it was a bit too cocky when I was first in the world. But now I'm no longer first in the world, and probably never going to regain that spot again in my life. It's worth it. And I do have the print screen of it on Cricinfo. Bulgaria 142 for 2. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game then tomorrow. So yeah, even more reason for me to get on with it and get in the pool and do some recovery work. Abdullah Creepy's not going to start in future weeks. Plus Pedro and Ryan does have good weeks in coming weeks and booming. Yeah, I agree. I think Evan Nilsson probably comes back into the team. But what I've got to say, Abdullah, is Creepy's been on such a run, mate. If he keeps the hot streak going, imagine if he scores against Man City. They're not going to bring Evan Nilsson back into the team until he. I think they will eventually. But I mean, if he keeps scoring, what can you do? Anyway, sorry, Rico. Did João Pedro to Reinders and Reinders to Creepy and Mbumo? Yeah. So I like. So what I would say is I like Creepy as just a 4.5 mil on the bench anyway. You're probably not going to play him that many weeks. So you've done your 2 frees. So I mean nothing really to look at. You've used your chips as well. So you're just looking for optimal team really now. So Mateta, Haaland up top, Eze, Sarr, Semenyo and Mbumo. Probably bench Kudus. And then I'd say Tarko, Gabriel, Verge at the back. And would I play Senesi or Goodmanson? I think I'd play Senesi. Senesi, Kudus or Goodmanson? I think that's probably a choice for you, Rico. Senesi, Goodmanson or Kudus. I'm not sold on any of those. I'd play Kudus in that situation, because I'm not really sold on anything, and he could probably be the most explosive out of those. So my bench is probably Krupi, Goodmanson, and Senesi. No, I'd probably play Kudus. I think he can be the most I just think he's I think he can be the most explosive out of those, just because of the fixtures that they've got. What about Kudus or Reinders? I just think City are a team that can score more goals, so I'd probably go Reinders. And I think that City Bournemouth match is gonna be busy. Busy. Chris. Should I start Caicedo or Reinders? I'd definitely start Caicedo though. Hi Adam, mate. Would you prefer wildcard in 12 or 13 generally? I think I'd prefer 12 immediately after game week 11 finishes, because you're in a 2-week international break. So I'd make all my transfers right at the beginning and try and get double price rises immediately, Jan, because you could probably pick up some double price rises in that week. All right, so what's our bet saying? I thought you did post some stuff. So one of your things was Cunha to score. I can't remember what else you said, Rico. What were your options for me? So let me look at the fixtures as well. I'm thinking here. What game do I fancy some bets on? I'll give you some other options as well. Shall I take out Eze if he doesn't do anything 3 weeks and get Calafiori? Maybe. Or I mean Timber probably for me over Calafiori. I don't mind Eze. I think I'd hold on to him for the time being. Forest and Man United. Yeah, Forest to stop Man United's winning run. Like draw or win for Forest. That's an interesting one on the bet. What is my full name? I am one of the Sen brothers that are playing in that Cyprus team. You won't find me if you type in the English Aussie. He doesn't play for that Cyprus team. Forest wins, mate. Or Bournemouth Man City 4+ goals. Bournemouth Man City 4+ goals. That's a wild bet. 3+ goals, if you're interested. 3+ goals. Bournemouth Man City 3+ goals. Who would you transfer Stats to the next game week to bench boost? Xhaka. Xhaka or Cullen if it was for 1 week. I prefer Xhaka longer term though. It'd be Xhaka for me. What else do I like? Brentford to win or draw versus Palace. Brentford to win or draw versus Palace. I think Palace with Adam Wharton out is a big issue for them this week. This week I'm not sold on Sarr or Mateta to score. I mean, I'd still bring Mateta in, but for longer term, but and because of the price rise issues, but I wouldn't be bringing in Sarr this week. And my captain, no, my brother. Our normal captain actually was injured. He did his knee, so my brother actually captained the national team yesterday for the first time ever, which was pretty awesome. You never watched a second of cricket in your life? Well, you should go on YouTube, ECN. You can watch my highlights from the Croatia tour that we had in August. Just type in Cyprus v Croatia ECN, Adam, and you'll see my highlights. They have actually like a 1 minute 10-second reel of just me, highlights of me from one of the games because I was man of the match in one of them from Croatia. But you can see it all on YouTube, all that stuff. FPL Hippie still here, 151. Don Guardiola to Burns and Essie to VVD next week. Pope to Ravagut, Burn to Kukurea. Okay, don't mind that. I'd probably go Burn to Gabriel next week if I were you, instead of Kukurea. But I mean, for 2 weeks, he's quite nice. Send the link, Adam. Can find it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, well, unfortunately, like the games to this week are not being televised, which is a shame. I'm very concerned that this is going to play really loudly out of my speakers. But I'll copy the link for you guys down below. Having to catch from Cyprus in the 2028 World Cup. So that would actually be epic because my sound quiet again. Sorry. That would actually be epic because the 2028 World Cup is in Australia and New Zealand. Obviously, like I'm living in Sydney these days. But the World Cup qualifiers are in May this year in 2026 in Cyprus, which would be really cool. We're actually hosting the European qualifiers, so we have a chance. I think it's going to be difficult because in Europe you only get like 2 additional slots in the World Cup. I think we have whereas we have like 30 countries in Europe that really have a chance. So going to be difficult. Definitely going to be difficult. But yeah, I mean, we definitely have a chance. We definitely like our team is just getting better and better at the moment, and I think like we have so many now players that just have the ability to change a game. Is cricket similar to baseball? It's not offensive, mate. I understand if you don't watch the game, you don't know. I've got to be honest. I personally find baseball quite boring, so I'm not offended. But I would say it's quite. I think it's quite different. But in terms of like what's going on, like someone's bowling a ball or pitching a ball, and the other guy's hitting a ball, and then you have to run to score points. So I mean, I guess it is in a way. But yeah, I mean, having grown up playing cricket, I guess I find it a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, cricket definitely harder than baseball. Definitely harder. I've seen baseball players try and play cricket and just not possible. Whereas I've seen cricket players try and play baseball and after a while they'll get it. Especially like fielding and bowling. It's like baseball's super easy. You have a mitt, whereas cricket you have to catch it with your hands. Anyway, I'll stop talking about myself, and nobody cares about me. Just watched my nation qualify the World Cup a few days back-to-back World Cup qualifications. Felt great to watch. What was this for, Ardiv? Nice hits, bro. He loved Cal Corner. Yeah, I mean, like, it was T20, so I was just trying to tee off anything that was in my area. Sandra, yeah, I haven't done a lot of teams, to be honest. Oh, you Italian, Ardiv, because they recently qualified for the World Cup. Anyway, guys, let me get back to talking about people's teams here. Otherwise, we're never going to get anywhere. Rico, what's the bet? Let's just do the Cunha to score one that you had, mate. So anyone that's watching, you should all bring Cunha into your team, because if Rico says he's going to score, he's going to score. We can do... what are we going to do? I don't know. $5, $10? $10 versus you become a member of my channel. I'm waiting, Rico. I'm waiting. One day you're going to become a member of this channel. Or whatever you want to do. I'll send you $10. If I lose. Or unless you want unless you want something different. Otherwise it's like I can do $10. It's my YouTube kitty. To be honest, I just spend anything that I make on YouTube just in giveaways with you guys. So what is it? $10 versus you become a member? Elite member, so you can be in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, it's no different really. It's like $3 versus $2. Because I want you in the WhatsApp group chat. Otherwise, there's no point in becoming a member. I need you in there for the good banter. Is that a bet? Yeah, become elite member. Yeah, that's like $1 more than supporter member. Because then I can put you in the WhatsApp group chat. It's all right, sweet. All right, guys, that's the bet. Cunha to score. Cunha scores. I pay Rico $10. So Cunha's guaranteed to score because I've done this bet with him a few times and every time I'm wrong. and if Cunha doesn't score, then Rico becomes an elite member of the channel. Which, by the way, guys, I recommend. It is actually good value. You got the WhatsApp group chat. You got the you've got all the data, like the FPL API link data, linked straight to the website. Like you can just go in whenever you want, look at all the data. It's live, so as soon as the data gets up on FPL, it flows straight through to this. API. And then you can just pick it up and look and just live your best life. And this is what it looks like if you're hang on, if I can show you what it looks like. Can I don't know why it's not. I thought I could show you what it looks like. Yeah, there we are. This is what it looks like. So this is like, I have my own fixture difficulty ratings. I'll have all the datas by each price point for forwards, for midfielders, for defenders. All of this gets automatically updated once the FPL website updates. So it's better than honestly, it's better than Scout and Fantasy Football Hub. I think I give you more data and more quickly than they get their stuff up on there. And I even get all the DEFCON data. I've got a couple of my own fields, like baseline bonus points, which I think is like really important for knowing like what players will end up with bonus if they don't do much, or if they like get one assist or one goal or one clean sheet, which ones are going to do it over the other ones. So I think all of these things are super important and useful. So if you do want to become a member of the channel, I recommend. I genuinely think it's worth it. Otherwise, I didn't start my membership until I felt like I got out some good stuff for you guys. So that is the jazz. Feel free to join or feel free not to join. But if you are on the channel, subscribe down below, like the video. I will appreciate that. If you don't want to. MCAC, when's your number up? Does Romania have a cricket team, Radu? Yeah, they do, actually. They do. No, Bryce, you're next, mate. You're next. MCACs. I've got a list, mate. I've got a few to get through. I think there's a few to get through before you, sorry. I've got John, Radu, Hippie, Babu Poss, you. And I've got Bryce to do as well. Is Welbeck nailed? I would say Welbeck's nailed, yep. Sandri, you did write something and then you retracted it. You retracted all your messages. It's really not helpful. Nepal qualified back-to-back this time. Oh, damn. Yeah, the thing is with Asia is you've got a lot more qualification spots, so it's actually easier for the... I'm not saying this is not a fantastic achievement, but from somebody that's in Europe, it's actually really hard. I mean, maybe not easier in Asia, but it's definitely hard for us in Europe with so many teams to qualify. But yeah, epic for Nepal, mate. Epic. Maybe I'll play you guys one day. 55% chance to score, Edwin. He's 100% certain to score, Cunha, this week. 100%. I haven't, no. I only started playing for Cyprus recently in the last year, so I've only been on a couple of tours, Croatia and this one. They were my first two tours with the team. Bryce, team ID for me, mate. Sorry. I know I ask you this every week because I never write it down. There's 3s and 0s, and like my brain's too cooked to remember it. 3s and 0s. 3102027. Any plans for this week, Bryce? What are you thinking? Just the 1-3. Donnarumma in goal. I'm sorry. Van der Ven was probably a me call, wasn't it? Sold Richarlison for Mateta already. Okay, so left with 0.3 mil in the bank. Okay, well, I don't recommend making any other transfers or taking a -4 because I think your team's okay. Gabriel Guehi. Van der Ven. I'd probably play him, mate. Probably after a 23-point haul. Keep him in. Just hurt all those content creators more who've been slagging people off about having Van der Ven. Could you add me to that list? No hurry. Cody. What list, mate? Sorry. Am I being dumb? Oh, yeah. What's your team ID, Cody? Sorry, mate. Yeah, sorry, guys. I know I started late this week, so I just might not have a chance to get to everybody. It's just difficult, like, being away. Like, the best I could do was just doing this stream, to be honest. Like, I really... I considered not doing it today because I've got a lot to do. 11122279. Yeah, you're up next, Cody. I think Abdullah as well. I need to do you as well. Can you just chuck your team ID again below? Because I want to do all my members first. I know Abdullah doesn't come up as a member, but it's just because Pakistan don't do membership on YouTube for some reason. But we sorted it out externally between ourselves. So if anyone else has that problem, let me know. We can also sort that out externally. Okay, let me try and let's just work through this. Brycey, Calvert-Lewin on the bench for me. Oh fuck, you actually have a quite nice, mate. Honestly, like, have you considered the bench boost? Wish I'd have said that last week to you. Have you considered the bench boost this week? Because I think your team is, if Foden starts, best bench boostable. Bench boostable. I mean, Dubravka maybe is an issue. Maybe next week you bench boost, actually. I think game week 11. Burnley v West Ham. Palace, nice. Bournemouth, nice. Arsenal, nice. Leeds, nice. Man City got a tough game. But Liverpool concede goals, so I don't hate it. And you could even move Foden next week. Man City could win that as well. And Spurs v Man United's not too bad. Yeah, I think next week's the bench boost, Brightsy, with this team. Yeah, I mean, Cody, I think it's a poor decision on my part, but it is nice hanging out with you guys. And I like to try and help you guys. And given that I do have membership and I've got you guys here, it is got to be done for the channel, you know. So feel free to thank me by watching all my videos and liking and subscribing to the channel. Or becoming a member if you're not already. Yeah, I think this week you're good. I think your bench is just probably the consideration. I think it would be probably Senesi, Calvert-Lewin, +1 of VDV Rodon. +1 of VDV or Rodon. And I think after just look at those two last week. Yeah, Senesi, Calvert-Lewin, I think definitely on the bench. And then +1 Bryce. +1 because your midfield's very strong. I am concerned with Foden starting, but if he starts, he's a good pick, especially with his Bournemouth team. I just am concerned with Shirky and Marmoush. That does concern me. You could bench Foden if you were scared of that, but he started like the last 4 games in a row and played 90 minutes. Yeah, Richarlison's out in his team for Mateta. Boss Hill, sorry I'm late. Played Rodon or Chalobah. I do have Kudus in my team playing. I think I'd go Rodon this week, mate. And then optimal, most upside. Hey, Six, how are you, mate? Okay, Brycey, hopefully that helped, mate, and you heard me. And give me a shout if you need further info. Let me get on to Cody and let's crack through these teams. And while I'm doing them, John, Radu, FPL Hippie, If any of you guys here, let me know in the chat. John Spence, that is. Cody, one free transfer. Have you made a transfer this week? Gabriel, Lacroix, John, nice one, mate. You're up next. Yeah, 6 I can, mate, but I just might not be able to get to you. It's about half an hour left, and I'm very behind. But you did put your team ID, I'll add you in. Because I'm sure people leave. Yeah, John, you're next, mate. Don't worry. Raya, Gabriel, Alderette. So Sunderland got this week. Everton. Yeah, if Alderette plays, he's a doubt. He'd be a good pick this week against Everton. I'd play him. I'd start him. I'd start him in your team against Everton. I'd bench Senesi, Reinders, and JP. I'd honestly, I'd bench Senesi, Reinders, and JP. That would be my bench. And JP wouldn't be first on the bench, I think. I think he'd be third. I think he'd be right at the bottom. Well, no, I think Senesi would be third. Just optimal upside, really. And I'd roll the transfer. I'd roll it to next week. Because I think your team's really strong. I don't think you need to use it. I think next week it's better. I think next week you'll have more info and you can make 2 transfers. Play Caicedo or Semenyo, Bernie. I'd play Semenyo for sure, mate. I think that Man City v Bournemouth's going to be high scoring. But I still like Caicedo as a pick for a 4-pointer. I don't know if you have a really strong team elsewise. Because if you're thinking about benching Caicedo, you should also think about bench boosting. Yeah, so Cody, I think no changes. Roll the transfer. JP, Senesi, and Reinders on the bench. And I'm going to move through, but you tell me if you have further things. 3, 2, 7, 2, 1. Because I thought yours was quite easy. Bench boost next week. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd play Semenyo then, Bernie, mate. John, you said you've got rid of Pedro and Reinders for Mateta and bench fodder. Excellent. Love a bit of bench fodder. Wait, and bench fodder in the midfield though. That's interesting. Was the bench fodder Josh King? Would I play Thiago this week against Palace? Probably not against Palace. Quite solid. He's on pens. Again, don't like to bench penalty takers. I'd bench Senesi, your bench fodder. And it'd be between Enzo and Thiago. It could be Virgil van Dijk, really. I mean, I'd bench Senesi and your bench fodder, and then it would be between I think this is a tough pick, but it would be between Thiago, Enzo, Virgil, and Rodon for the bench for me. And I think all 4 of them have their reasons to be benched, depending on what you think the scores are going to be in those games. I think Liverpool could keep a clean sheet via Aston Villa, but Aston Villa being in good form. But I think Virgil probably picks up DEFCON anyway. I think Rodon is probably unlikely to keep a clean sheet against Brighton and probably wouldn't get DEFCON generally. So he'd probably be my main thought on bench. Thiago, Enzo both on pens. So I find that hard to bench penalty takers. But Enzo with a tricky fixture against Tottenham. and Thiago with a tricky-ish fixture against Palace. So I think, yeah, you were going to put Rodon. Yeah, I think Rodon would have been the choice for me out of those four after I talked it through to myself. Cool. Hopefully that helps, John. I don't think you need to do anything else or make any other transfers. I think when you have benching dilemmas, it generally means that your team doesn't need any more transfers. Sandropson -4 for Sanchez to Ryan. No, don't do that. Don't have double Arsenal defence. Can't afford Gabriel Calafiori. Don't take a -4. Definitely not for a goalkeeper. It's just a zero. It's 0 to negative transfer. Radu FPL Hippie. I know FPL Hippie is just wants me to talk on his team anyway, so I'll chuck it up, mate. Radu, are you here? He's done also FPL Hippie's done Gvardiol to Burn and Senesi to VVD. Which is kind of crazy, but I like a bit of crazy. Next week, Pope to grab him, but to figure out. Yeah, so I guess Pope in goal, Munoz, Alderette, Gabriel, and Burn. And are you playing VVD as well? Maybe you play 5 at the back this week. Play all your defenders. Midfield, Saka. Saka, Semenyo, Sarr? No, I actually wouldn't play Sarr. Saka, Semenyo. Maybe Saka, Semenyo, maybe Rice. Maybe Declan Rice. Saka, Semenyo, one of Rice or Xhaka. And I played Mateo, Waltemada, Haaland. I'd bench Sarr. I'd bench... Who am I missing? I just played 5 at the back. Yeah, I'd bench one of Rice and Xhaka, and then Sarr. And then why am I missing a player? 5, 2. I'd have to play 5, 2, 3. I just have to bench all of them. I just bench Xhaka, Rice, and Sarr, honestly. Why would I bench Sarr? Look, as I said, MCAX, I said earlier, you might not have heard, it's probably against all the data and the fixtures, but for me, looking at the way Palace play, like Sarr's very effective on the counter and sometimes against bigger teams. Oi, Tiger and Gooner, what's up, bro? How are you, Pete? Looking at the way Palace play, I think he's more effective against the bigger teams. Also, Adam Wharton not being available this week is massive for Palace. So I actually, in general, don't love either Sarr or Mateta this week. But I think Mateta is a better option, and finishing is much better. So if Palace don't have that many chances, I think Mateta is more likely to score. Plus, he's on penalties. So, and I think for the future, Mateta is still a nice pick. So, so I don't like. I will answer that question, Abdullah. So yeah, I think for me, I'm not particularly keen on Sarr on this run in towards AFCON over the next. What's he got? 6 weeks before he goes off to AFCON. But that is for me just a tactical / visual opinion. I would say the data and the fixtures do not back up my opinion on Sarr. So you're welcome to go against it, but that's just my thoughts, and we'll see who's correct. Lacroix, very good, very good. I think Lacroix's nice, good for DEFCON. Obviously, I prefer Munoz. I would say Munoz is one of the most must-have picks in the game, top 4, along with Semenyo, Haaland, and Gabriel. Those are my only 4. Abdullah, yeah. You just said something that was funny. I wanted to read it out. And now I can't see it. Oh, Adam, how's Semenyo gone from worst finishing in the league to become your favourite player? Not become my favourite player. Still think his finishing is not that good. But seems like it's got a little bit better this year. But also the thing for Semenyo for me is he's been taking free kicks. He's been taking some penalties when Evan Nilsson's not on. Like, he's a target off corners, and he's just like a key player for Bournemouth. And obviously he's been in great form. So like with all of those things, like how can you go against him? Like, you've got to be big enough in this game to understand that you've made a mistake and you've got to change your team. And for me, not having Semenyo at the beginning of the season, like, I stand by what I thought about him, and I think his finishing's not that great. He does take a couple of chances to score every now and again, but it looks like he's starting to improve and work on it. And he's a key player for the way Bournemouth play, which I didn't know that he would be like that at the beginning of this season. I didn't think Bournemouth would be as good as they have been, given the players that they've lost. So, yeah, I just had to realise that I made a mistake and bring Semenyo in, and he's been doing great for me since I've had him in. I brought him in very early. I realised I'd made the mistake probably game week 3 or 4 maybe. I knew I'd got it wrong. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's your team, FPL Hippie. Yeah, Rads, that's you, mate. I was just waiting for you in the chat. By the way, João Pedro is very likely to score this week. I've transferred him out, and that's just how this game works, Bernie. Yeah, just equally as likely as Cunha to score, because me and Rico made a bet this week, so it's more than likely than not that Cunha will score, and then evidently João Pedro will score as well. So if you're watching, buy João Pedro and Cunha this week. Radu, I want to go Paro to Timber, Kudus to Sarr, and JP to Thiago / Welbeck for -4. Not use bench boost, okay. Paro to Timber, yeah, I like that. Kudus to Sarr, don't like. And JP to Thiago / Welbeck. Yeah, I mean, I would be playing Munoz, Gabriel, Timber, Semenyo, Eze, and Dai Gordon, Haaland. Would you be playing Bowen this week, Rads? Would you be playing Bowen this week? I guess that's a real question. Because you got to think next week you're probably bench boosting Radu as well. Probably bench boosting next week. So if you go JP to Thiago, Welbeck, yeah, I'd probably go to Welbeck, to be honest. Probably go to Welbeck, and I'd start him. It'd be Haaland and Welbeck, Gordon and Dai, Eze, Semenyo, Munoz, Gabriel, Timber, and then you've got Kudus, Goodmanson, Senesi, and Bowen. Of which you pick one off, which I think is fine. I don't think you need to take a -4. I think that Kudus to Sarr doesn't need to be done. I don't think that needs to be done. Everyone's going to murder me if Sarr scores this week, but that's just my opinion. I don't think you need to take that -4, and I'd probably go JP to Welbeck. Yeah, not Kudus to Sarr, in my opinion. I would just make the 2 transfers. And then next week I'd be considering a bench boost, Rads. Cody, who are you selling? Who are you selling? Who are you selling this week? I need to know. I need to know. Levu! Oh my God, Levu! So good to see you, mate. Unreal. It's been so long, mate. Yeah, I'm good. How are you, mate? How are you? Unreal. MCAX, what's your team ID again, mate? I'm gonna pull you up now. Oh shit. Click the wrong button. Sorry, anyone that wants their team done, can you just post your team IDs in the chat now? Again, I've got MCAX, Suku, and then literally anyone else that posted it. Bapupos, Mkak, Suku, and Ardiv. And I've probably missed a ton of people. Oh, Oamara as well. Sorry, man. But if there's anyone else, chuck them in right now because I'll try and speed run through them. Because there is 22 minutes to the deadline. And I know I would have missed tons of you, so 8987437. MCAX, are you here? Manish. I'm going to move from Laquata Munoz, but not until after Munoz gets a one-match ban for his fifth yellow. Thoughts? I moved this week, Mark. I moved from Laquata Munoz this week. Do you think there's a chance Creepy Junior starts next week? I'm on wildcard and playing bench boost next week. I think there's a chance, Islam. I think there's a chance. Especially if he gets a goal this week, he'll probably start. But then I imagine Evan Nilsson comes off the bench. Great stream today. Thanks, Just B. Good luck, everyone. Appreciate that. No one this week sold Thiago Wilgo 2 goals, sold VDV 2 goals, sold Bruno assists. All right, well, let me know next time you sell someone, KD. I'll make sure to bring him in. Thanks, Radu. Appreciate it, mate. Okay, Bapupos, Mkak, Ardiv, Oamara, Suku, any of you here in the chat. If any of you here, let me know and you can be up now. Okay, Baboops, you were first, so you can go, and then Six. Is this is your team? Is it Babupos 535 Lucas? Have you made any transfers so far? Because this is the ID you gave me 5355. Have you made any transfers yet this week? Because otherwise you got 2 frees at the moment. Lacroix, Munoz, Gabriel, Tarkovsky. That is strong. Anderson as well. I'll be playing 5 at the back. 5-3-2. I'll be playing Lacroix, Munoz, Gabriel, Tarko, Anderson. I'll be playing all 5 of them. I'll be playing Saka. I'll be playing Gakpo. I'll be playing Semenyo. Reinders and Evan Nilsson to Welbeck and Sarr. You're just making your life harder. I was going to say, if you don't make any transfers, that would have been easy picks. It's Evan Nilsson as well, not even João Pedro out. Welbeck and Sarr. I mean, Welbeck now is a nice bit. And you've already bench boost. I don't think you needed to make so many transfers this week. Like, I think your team was strong this week. I think you could have just played 5-3-2. Saka, Gakpo, Semenyo, Haaland, João Pedro. I know, if only I had bench boost. Yeah. I think that is something to consider when you make transfers and you no longer have bench boost, is that you don't actually need like 3 playing strikers. I guess now Josh King has come out, maybe you do. But I think that Evan Nilsson transfer you didn't need to make. I don't think you needed to make it. And again, I've mentioned about Sarr, but like maybe he'll do well. So, okay, we'll honestly, given that you've done that, the only change that I would make is I'd probably play Welbeck over João Pedro. But otherwise, you might not want to do this given you brought in Sarr. So I think other people have different views on him than I do, which is fine. Not a problem. But I would play Lacroix, Munoz, Gabriel, Tarkovsky and Anderson and play 5 at the back. And I would play Saka, Gakpo and Semenyo in midfield. And I would play Haaland and Welbeck up top. And I would bench King, Sarr and João Pedro. And it would be Sarr first on the bench. And he'd be he's one that if you want to bring him, if you want to bench somebody else and bring Sarr into your starting lineup, that's fine. Because you've obviously got a view on him and that's why you've brought him in. But yeah, my personal opinion with Adam Morton missing for today for Palace as well, that's big for them. That's a big miss. He is one of their most important. He is probably the most important player in that Palace side. So I think that's going to be a tougher game for them. Would you play Semenyo no matter what? I just think the way Bournemouth play are going to cause Man City problems defensively. So I would play Semenyo because I think both teams will score in that game. I think Semenyo could still be on pens as well. And he has just option. He's just routes to points for me, Semenyo. But yeah, I mean, like, I can see why you'd want to go Sarr even over a Semenyo, but yeah, I'd probably play Semenyo. But again, at your like, I know people talk about expected like ownership and stuff. Like, I mean, probably going Sarr over a Semenyo is going against the grain. So I mean, it's a way of probably gaining points on people around you. Yeah. So I guess those are my thoughts, Lucas. That Sarr versus the rest of the team slot is probably the one to consider for you. Just my personal opinion on it, but yeah, good luck. Six, you're here. Let me pull you up. 1857592. And then Oamara, Ardiv, or anyone else that needs your team reviewed, chuck it in the chat. Levu, I'm committing all in for Spurs to lose at home again. Love it, mate. Yeah, I was hoping you'd put your team ID in there, mate. All right, Riley. What are we saying? You made transfers already, Six? Or no transfers yet? 15 minutes to go, by the way, guys, to deadline, so lock in your teams. Made Warner. Honestly, it could be like, I want a wild card this team, Six. I know it's not the time to wild card, but just I really want to wild card your team. I just don't really like it. There's so many problems I have with it, especially not having Haaland. Would you have any consideration into a wild card? I know there's only 15 minutes to go. MCAX, you're here. Yes, I've been waiting for you to say you're here. You're up next. You're up next. I keep checking, so just wait. Just wait. Six, would you be interested in a wild card? If not, I can make suggestions to your team. I mean, the team does look decent for this week. Okay, all right. If you want to go with this team, then let's go Tarkovsky, Munoz, and probably Porro. Maybe Senesi. No, Senesi. I'd have to gamble on Senesi there. No, I'd maybe Porro. Tarkovsky, Munoz, Porro. Then Gordon, Salah, and Dai, Foden, Anderson, Gyökeres, João Pedro. And the bench would be Guiu, Estev, Senesi. Well, Senesi, Guiu, Estev. And then captaincy. Go rogue, captain Gyökeres. No, I'd probably captain Salah. I mean, you can captain anybody. You can captain Munoz this week. Captain Munoz. He's my vice captain, I think, this week. You think I should play Caicedo over Sarr, Bernie? Yes, I would, but if you're chasing a big up, like I think Caicedo scores 4 points, and I think Sarr scores 2 or 3. So the upside of Sarr is probably higher if you don't mind losing a couple of points in the week. So in that situation, if you have them both, I totally understand playing Sarr. So I think I probably would if I were you. But you just got to understand that you might lose 1 or 2 points, which you probably won't mind. But you would probably mind losing 7 points if, for example, Sarr was to score. 6, would I bring anyone in? I would want to bring in Gabriel. Yeah, I'd want to bring in Gabriel for Pedro Porro.
I'd want to bring in Gabriel for Pedro Porro. And then just given that I would want you to wildcard immediately this team, I'd also want to bring in Haaland, but obviously you can't do that. Otherwise, it genuinely would be Salah out, João Pedro to Haaland or something like that if you could do that. But I think if you're going to wildcard next week, which I would recommend, I would just probably bring Gabriel in for Porro and play him. Six. That would be what I would do. Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah, just bring Gabriel in this week, wildcard next week, and Captain Munoz, mate. Captain Munoz. Yeah. You honestly your team is pick 'em for captaincy. It's an absolute pick 'em. So go for anybody. I got to move on quickly, mate, because I got to do MCAX here because he's been waiting for a little bit. We got 10 minutes to go, but hopefully that helps Six. But I definitely need a wild card. MCAX bro's waiting. Any transfers that you've made so far this week? MCAX, you got 1 free. I'd be playing Vicario. I'd be playing Gabriel, Calafiori, Lacroix. Oh fuck, you got a nice team. I mean, if it wasn't for Dubravka, I would bench. But next week you got to be bench boosting. I'd be benching Senesi. Probably Rodon. And I don't know who the third bench option would be. I really am not sure. But whoever that third bench option would be is someone that you could potentially look to transfer in the future. MCAX. Blitz Overwatch. Munoz. Get Munoz in your team. He's my number 1 pick this week. Tiger and Guna, Petrovic or Dubravka in goal. Fuck. Neither. Honestly, mate, I don't know. I'd probably go Petrovic because I think he gets more save points, but they're not going to get most. GK change, MK. Yeah, mate, I would look to go Raya, but you've already got double Arsenal defence, so maybe Pope. Maybe Pope for Vicario. I actually don't mind that because I don't really think your team needs wholesale changes anywhere. I think it's a nice team. Yeah, I actually think Pope for Vicario would be real good for you for this week. And then Newcastle defensively have some really good fixtures other than Man City in 12, but from 13 to 22, Pope is the man to have in goal. So yeah, I think Pope. I like that, MCAX. Good thinking, because I don't normally think about those goalkeeper changes, and I was looking at your team thinking it looks nice. But yeah, obviously you'd have Vicario in goal. So yeah, Vicario to Pope is real nice for your team for this week. You could make that transfer. Vicario to Pope, bench Senesi, bench Rodon, and then bench one more. My personal opinion would probably be, actually after chatting to Bernie, I'd probably bench Caicedo. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on, mate, just because I've got to. No Ardiv, no Oamara in the chat, so I have Levu and Tiger and Guna to get through. 8 minutes to deadline, guys. Yeah, Pete, I'll get to you, mate. I promise I can get. Levu, is this this doesn't look like your team, mate. Vanish 9 FPS, is this your team? FaZe Hasbullah. Thoughts on captains Haaland, Saka, Gabriel? Haaland for me. This is your team? Okay, nice. Have you made any transfers, Levu? Can you give input, one second opinion on the Chelsea boys or Gakpo team ID? I like Gakpo. I don't like João Pedro. I don't like Gyökeres. Shit, your team's well nice. Mate, you're gunning it this year. Loving this, bro. Loving this. I'd be playing Gabriel, Munoz, Mukiele. I'd be benching Romero, Senesi, and Reinders. And you have 2 free transfers, and you've used bench boost, so I would be next week, especially if Gyökeres doesn't score, I'd be probably sending him to the bin for like a Krupi Jr. or a Giu. And I'd be either upgrading Reinders or moving João Pedro to Mateta. Or potentially Vicario to Pope or Romero to Timber. Those are where I'd be looking to go. Levu. Oh, switch Romero for Tims. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Well, that was one I was suggesting. So, yeah, so then Gabriel, Munoz, Timber, Mukiele. I would play Mukiele. Genuinely, I would play Mukiele this week against Everton. I think he could keep a clean sheet and also get DEFCON. And he takes those monster long throws. I'd probably bench either Sarr or João Pedro this week in that team then. It would be Reinders bench, Senesi bench, and one of Sarr or João Pedro on the bench, Levu. Yeah, keeper choices is annoying. You could move Vicario to Pope next week. Or to, yeah, I think to Pope. Okay, I'll bench JP. All right, nice one. Tiger Gunnar, let me get you going, mate. 3-4-3-60-7-5. 6 minutes to go to deadline, guys. I'm just reading the chat now. Is Welbeck nailed? Yeah, I think Welbeck's nailed, Radu. Bench 1, Frank Golding, Semenyo, Enzo and Dai, Sarr, Mateta, Waltamada, Sarr. All right, Pete, let's look. Yeah, so I'd play Petrovic and then Gabriel, Richards, Van de Ven after his performance. I'd say you got to play him now. Have you made any free transfers, Pete? And then, yeah, I guess in the midfield, Bruno, Eze and Dai, Semenyo, all nice. And then João Pedro, Haaland, Gyökeres. Should be 3-4-3. I'd be benching Reinders, Estev and Senesi, with probably Senesi first on bench, then Reinders, then Estev. Or maybe Reinders first, then Senesi, then Estev. Pete, any thoughts? All right, no more team reviews after this, guys. Just questions in the chat if you got anything that you need. 5 minutes to the deadline. I can potentially also show my team. You guys want to see? That's what I'm looking at this week. I think I'm comfortable. With that. Levu, I think I can make or break the season taking a chance versus Saka, Rice, hella slept on. Who do you think wins Spurs v Chelsea? Fuck, man, they're the two most inconsistent teams I know. Like, I couldn't tell you who's going to win that game, honestly. And like Thomas Frank changes his tactics all the time. Maresca changes his tactics all the time. It's so that game is so hard to pick. I think Thomas Frank wins the game. Just because I like him as a manager. I think he'll... I like Maresca as well, but I think Thomas Frank outthinks him. Sanderosen, start Reinders or Van de Ven. I mean, you got to start Van de Ven after what he did last week. You just got to do it. 100%, it's a tough call, yeah. Yeah, I just go Thomas Frank, just because I just think he's a little bit better than Maresca. But I like Maresca as well. I am just betting on Spurs' bad home spell. Yeah, I know. But they're very inconsistent, both teams, very inconsistent. 3 minutes till deadline, guys, FYI. Where's this team news loop floating around? Chuck any questions, last minute questions you have in. I will be finishing this stream immediately at the deadline because I want to get in the pool before the sun goes down, and I'm going to be really pissed off if the sun's gone down. And I want to blame all of you lot. If it's not warm enough, you're all going to be blamed. All right, 2 minutes to deadline, lads.
and lasses. Last minute thoughts in the chat. Please remember to like the video, subscribe down below to the channel if you are just in the chat. It does make a big difference to my channel and small content creators like myself. Just seen your Calafiori, some of my footy team is betting on him getting a return this week. I love him to get a return. Tell them to bet as much as they want and just get him that return for me. He keeps getting flipping offside goals. Screwing me. Good luck, Codes. Good luck, MCAX. Thanks, boy. Thanks for being in the chat, lads. 2 minutes to deadline. Probably about 1.5 minutes. Lock in your final teams, everyone. Lock in your Munoz captaincies. How you been liking the VVD twerking form this season? And system lock Salah. Yeah, VVD's been not very good this year. Salah's not been very good this year. Kirkez has not been very good this year. Alisson's been injured. And those are all massive things for Liverpool. Massive things for Liverpool. VVD not commanding that back four. Salah not being the same finisher he was last season. And Alisson being out. Massive. And Kirkez not gelling in the back four has been poor. Play Robertson for the love of God. Yeah, I think the thing is obviously Robertson's lost a bit of pace, so he does struggle against the quicker wingers on that side. But I think if people don't, I mean, most teams have a quick right winger. 1 minute to go, lock it in, boys. Nish is here for the last minute as usual. Nish is back in for last minute syndrome. He's running across to make sure that his team is correct. Sprinting down the house. Made Pope for Vicario. Nice one, MCAX. Hopefully Newcastle clean sheet this week. That's it, guys. Deadline has passed. We are locked in. And I will catch all of you guys next week. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for joining. Please sign up for membership if you're interested. Please like the video if you haven't done already. Subscribe down below. Have a great week. Hopefully you'll get points. Hopefully Haaland delivers, sort of, hopefully. And yeah, have a great week, everyone. This has been your English Aussie, Cypriot. Catch you later.